I really want to thank you guys just for being here. Just as you are right here, right now. And I want you to know how important you are, not only to this community, but to the frequency, the vibration, and the energy of the world. So thank you for being you. So Annette had touched on this a couple weeks ago about how between November 1st and January 15th, there are 29 holidays observed. And most of them are by the 7 world religions. I mean, this is huge. And then I think about Thanksgiving. Who celebrates Thanksgiving? I know Canada has one, but it is very harvest oriented. I don't think England celebrates Thanksgiving. I imagine the Native Americans celebrated a little different. But even American-born cultures and people and families all have such very different ways of celebrating it. Even if you get together and you say what you're thankful for and all that kind of good stuff, it's all celebrated so differently and things are cooked so differently. People are worried about conflict. I think we should be concerned about dressing and stuffing and what's the right way, right? I'm like, sometimes there's a lot of passion in that surprises me. So anyway, what's right though? Because 6 plus 3 equals 9. So does 5 plus 4. And other configurations, right? We all get the same answer. There are many paths up the mountain, but they all get to the top. There's not a right or wrong one. The only one that's wrong is the one that's trying to tell you what to think, what to feel, and if you're wrong about it. Because it's up to you to decide what yours is. Because what really matters is the respect that we have for each other, the way we treat each other, and the way that we love each other. And it starts with how we treat and love ourselves. So why do we culturally do things so different, right? When I ask that question, they're like, well, because my grandma did it that way, or that's how it's always been, or we're Southern, so we got a lot of bacon in it. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, or butter, that's the other one. But you know what I'm saying? Everybody does it, but why? Because that's the way we're told to do it. And we're just going along with the story. And I love my grandma. She was like 93 when she finally passed quite a while ago. But she had this dish that was called spaghetti. Now I know you all have a vision in your mind. It's all wrong. It isn't even close to what it was. The only thing that makes it close to spaghetti is that there was pasta in it. And I love her, I really do, but it's not even that good. But it still ends up on the table every year because people in our family have applied meaning to it. Okay? And again, this is not good, bad, right, or wrong. I just want us to think about, because there's millions of people that don't ever analyze themselves and ask, why do I do this? Why do I do it like I do it? And how do I feel about it? And is it what I want that makes me feel good and brings the peace in my life that I want? Because so often it's easy for us to get mechanized almost, to become the kind of products of our factory, which is called our environment. We just take it all in. This is what everybody else is doing. This is what people before me did. We get caught up in breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We get caught up in workplace, sleep, pay bills. Workplace, sleep, pay bills. Pay bills. We get caught up in this. And it's almost a robotic kind of thing. And I have to say, I get kind of tickled sometimes. You've got all these shows, movies, and series about zombies, right? About brains being eaten and all this kind of stuff. I want to throw out there that there's a possibility this might already be happening. Okay? Right? Okay? I mean, I'm just, because the purpose that we are built into, our purpose is our jobs. It's our income. It's what we've accomplished. It's what we've acquired. but how much of it is truly our seeking within for our peace and our happiness and our love and what's really working for us. And I want to put a little responsibility on the fact that people don't have to be doing anything with intentional malice to still be doing some harm, okay? Lack of knowledge, ignorance, not being open-minded, indifference still isn't contributing very well to the energy, frequency, and vibration of who we are. And I get it because it's scary. I mean, I get it because I've been kind of out of the box for a long time in my life. And it's hard being different sometimes. Because whether we realize it or not as humans, we ultimately want to be loved. And we're afraid if we step out of that box, outside of the norm, what if people don't like me? What if people don't love me? I want you to be encouraged to know, not to be afraid of this, not to be afraid to make that leap, even baby steps, if you're not ready for a leap, towards some change within yourself, your thinking, and the way that you do things. I kind of feel like when I grew up, we heard about anxiety, and sometimes it was related to situations, or certain people had it when certain things happened. But I almost feel like it's an epidemic now. Everybody has anxiety. Everybody has some level of anxiety. They're on the spectrum of having anxiety. And I personally believe very strongly that so much of that actually comes from a lack of self-trust. Think about that. Where does that come from? Because we're told what to think, what to feel. And when we hit a roadblock, that's not always built in. Because we've not learned how to look within to the divinity for our guidance, okay? And it's okay to, decide and discern and to think and to feel and make your own decisions. Because honestly, the answer is not out there. The answer is within. And people don't need to be saved. We don't need to rescue anybody. What it's really about is helping people get to the point where they have knowledge of their own power and their own significance, and to really accept it and live it. And I think that it's okay to look at other people because you've got traits that I love, and I'm like, works for her, works for him. I want to see how it works for me. There's nothing wrong with that as you grow and stuff. But your real freedom is making it yours and living from the way it's best for you. Because life actually begins when you can let go of that fear. When the fear ends of change and being different. And it does take courage to actually look at ourselves, the good, bad, right, and wrong, and ugly. And I hate using those, or I don't like using those words because really it's just a human experience. That it's about sorting through in a loving way to discern what it is without judgment. But that same courage that it takes to take an honest look at yourself is also going to be the courage that actually pushes you, that carries you, that delivers you to your purpose, to who you are, what you are, and why you're here. Your own unique contribution to the world. When you focus on that, your vision will be clearer, your passion will rise up, and you will find it easier to love yourself. Thich Nhat Hanh says that we are here to awaken from the illusion of separation. And when we can really grasp that and get that, we will understand the universal law of one. That we are all connected. And that when I heal, when I take that journey, when I take that courageous step, when I take that leap, and I raise my own vibration, it helps other people raise their vibration. It gives everybody more to pull from. So collectively, the work that you're doing, the better you make yourself, that is your gift to the world. So I think there actually is a shift going on right now, but you're not going to read about it in the news or hear about it in the news. It's not going to go viral because it's not as exciting as some of the other stuff. I mean, yeah, there's some of us that like to sit around and talk about the cultivation of love in the hearts of humanity, but that's not what they talk about in the news, right? Exactly. It's about us connecting to our own divinity and then connecting to everybody else's to bring that about. So we all know that when you focus your attention, that's where your energy goes, right? So where are you putting your attention? What are you giving power over you? Okay, I'm serious. This has been a lifelong lesson for me. There's this one time I'm trying to help a friend that I've already overhelped and I really need to put a boundary. And I hear my little girl go, but they might not like you if you don't. I'm going, wow, that's real. I mean, I live this every day, but it's still parts of us unraveling, the layers of us unraveling. And it's just about awareness and then taking care of ourselves afterwards. And whether it's global or in our backyard, I think people are starting to understand that fighting and conflict and hate just isn't doing it anymore. It just keeps breeding more and more and more. And the understanding that life is really this huge circle of energy. It's an exchange of energy, the giving and the receiving of energy. And where's our energy focused? Is it on the beauty? Is it the creation of our own heaven on earth? Is it our awareness of the divinity that is right here in us? You're right, it's there. And this is really important because I think it is very distracting. But when you cultivate that relationship with yourself, it's going to protect you from propaganda and manipulation outside of you. Y'all have probably read this on the internet before where they've got a jar and they put a whole bunch of red ants in it and black ants in it, and they're all working just fine together. Everybody's friends, everybody's good, until somebody takes the jar and shakes it. Those ants don't even know who, what, when, where, or why, but all of a sudden, I'm a black ant and this red ant next to me, I'm fighting them, and I don't even know why. That's scary, how close that really is to sometimes how it is in the world. But when you're connected to the divinity, when you're connected to the infinite within you, you don't fall prey to that manipulation. You know what's going on. That's right. I got a handshake on that, man. So, and I know that it's sometimes hard to notice. Polly said something about it the other day, where sometimes when a negative thought or idea comes out, it's hard not to latch onto it and even add onto it. I catch myself doing that too. You know, so it's like, we really want that energy going into the strengthening of us. And I read, I think it was in the media somewhere, the social media, where it said, I can't wait for the day that they decide to have war and nobody shows up.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it though? Yes. And you know what makes that happen? Is us and people like us. Because that kind of energy about fighting and always wanting to deal with it cannot exist with an awakened, sovereign being that is operating from the connection they have from within. It's just not going to happen. You know, and I want to throw something out there for you to contemplate. No matter what your religion, your background is, was, or whatever will be, we all hear about the talk of the second coming, right? And all of the stories talk about an individual. I want to throw out another concept. I don't think it's an individual. I think it's us. It's us. It's the divinity in you and you and you and us being aware of it and owning it and living from it as a collective. We are what it's about. We are the second coming. When that collective comes together, in the divine. That's where the power is really at. So, you have a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge to share. Don't be afraid to. Just share it without expectations, okay? Because no matter what, everybody needs it. And I even tell my friends when I'm doling out some advice, I'm like, I'm really glad you needed this because I think I needed to hear it too. And I hope you remember it because I'm probably going to need to hear it in the next week or two. You know, because we are. Why not teach and learn with what we've come from? And we're not telling people what to do or how to do it or what to think or what to feel, because a really good teacher is actually bringing you to your own light. And it is within your light that holds the frequency of your gifts. So Carolyn Mace has a quote I want to share with you. She says, "Fate is how your life unfolds when you let fear determine your choice. A path of destiny reveals itself to you when you confront your fear and make conscious choices." So be the person that plants seeds and trees when you may never eat the fruit or bask in its shade, figuratively and physically. Rumi talks about how love is not an emotion, it is actually your very existence. It is your greatness. What is holding you back from realizing your real greatness? Being grateful for who you are, what got you here. And that's hard sometimes because when you look back at your past, you don't necessarily want to like it. I know I don't. There's still a few things that I'm going, I'll get there. Because I know that's going to be where my true freedom is, but I'm still working on it. But it's loving who you are and how you got here no matter what. Because it is what made you who you are and created you who you are so that you could be the teacher that you are. I so wish that we could all see ourselves the way other people see us. The love, the light, the beautiful souls that we are. Because you're an amazing person, just as you are right here, right now. You have such wonderful energy. You are the gift to be thankful for that you're giving.